How long should you be living in your home before you sell it? Stay tuned. Hey friends, Mike Gold here, RE/MAX Alliance. Thank you so much for tuning in. So in this vlog post, and link to our blog post down below, we're going to be talking about how long you need to live in your home before you sell it. So according to the National Association of Realtors, the average homeowner will live in their property for a period of 10 years before selling it. And would-be experts would tell you that you need to live in your house for a minimum of 5 years. Now, why do the would-be experts tell you that? Well, that's our first pro tip, and that is to understand how much you owe on your mortgage. And the reason why the would-be experts would tell you this is that it's usually 5 years of principal reduction over time, to whereby you can be in a positive equity position when accounting for all the costs that it takes to sell the house. Now, that positive equity position is our pro tip number 2. What sort of equity position are you in based upon improvements that you may have done to the property throughout the years? Or if it's a home that you bought that already had these improvements or potentially new construction, then you need to understand our pro tip number 3, and that is what is going on and what are the market conditions for your particular area. Are you in an area like ours where we've seen anywhere between 5, 7, and in some cases 10% price appreciation per year over an extended period of time, to whereby living in a home for a minimum of 5 years might seem to be a little bit ridiculous? Or are you in a marketplace where you actually see depreciation happening and maybe now might be the right opportunity to sell the house before values continue to slide? Next is to understand where you're at with space, or pro tip number 4, knowing the amount of space that you need. Are you busting out at the seams because now you have a couple of children and you need the extra room for them? Or on the flip side of the equation, are you an empty nester and no longer need to have all that space around the house? Number 5, knowing and understanding capital gains tax. And that ultimately depends upon how long you've been living in the home. Do check with your local CPA and taxation expert, but if you've lived in the house for little less than 2 years, you might be susceptible to short-term capital gains tax, whereby if you've lived in the house for longer than 2 years, there's a great opportunity for you to be able to take a large portion of that sale free of any sort of capital gains tax. Item number 6, and the most important, is closing costs. Not only do you need to understand the closing costs as they associate to the sale of your house, but you're also going to need to understand the closing costs as they pertain to buying a house. And once you understand all this information is the next pro tip for you, and that is to get the valuation for your home if you've indicated that now is the right time to sell. Again, Mike Gold with RE/MAX Alliance, and if you've determined based upon these 6 pro tips that now is the right time for you to sell your house, take the next step and to fill out the form below so that way you can get a market evaluation for your property. Till then.